Thomas. I'm from Minnesota, Minneapolis area, and played at the Fargo regional today. I was playing Majespecters with the new card Ties of the Brethren, and I got second place. So let's get to the deck. Fairly standard monster lineup. We got 3 Bunbuku, 3 QB, 2 Toad. I needed to make some room somewhere, and this is where I thought it would be easiest to cut. It's not a card you want to see that much. The low scales are a lot less common, and he's a high scale, so you don't really want him for a scale. 2 Cat and 2 Crow. You have to play Crow now because of Ties of the Brethren. It makes it live. I was playing 1 for a while, but you just don't want to banish this off Desires because it makes all of your Brethren dead. And it's not that bad to see. The spells they're okay. Like the traps are better, but that's the main ones. Oh, and Kieran, we have to play that obviously. 1 Luster. So I was playing at least 2 of all the monsters, so this should be live most of the time. I didn't actually ever use his effect today. Just didn't draw him, but he's good, definitely. And Ignis Drax is important. 3 Abductor. This card lets you search any pendulum in your deck, so that's pretty good. You just need to open some spells, and this deck plays a lot of spells, especially terraforming, so it's not that hard to get it off. It's a little annoying that it's a 3 scale because you can't pendulum a lot of your monsters, but I think it's very much worth it regardless of that. And then the other pendulums, got 1 Eccentric, and then an Odd Eyes package. So these are the high scales that let you summon Kieran. I think you need a way to pendulum summon Kieran in this deck, and this is by far the easiest way to do that. You could just play more Eccentrics, but you can brick these if you have multiples. You can still brick if you have multiples between these 3, but that shouldn't happen as often. And instead you have this card, which is searchable by 4 cards in your deck, but 3 of those cards can search one of the other field spells, so it's just really consistent. And then this you can turn this into one of your other Majespecter cards if you happen to just not open any Majespecters, which is really unlikely, but it gets you to Bunbuku, which is pretty important, and then it's a beater. I never actually use this all day, and I sided it out a lot. If I was going second, I always sided it out, and sometimes I sided it out anyway, because I'm not maining Odd Eyes Fusion, so going second Odd Eyes Fusion I think is better. For spell cards, I'm playing the field spell package, 3 terraformings, and then 1 of each of the obvious field spells. You never want to see more than 1 of any of these. You can make arguments for playing extras just because they're that good, but I think it's much better to max out in terraforming before doing that. It's extra spells for Abductor. It gives you choices. If you already have a good hand, you just search Village, and then it's amazing. Or if you need to get some more engine pieces, you can get Sky Iris or Pegasus. It just gives you a lot of options, and options are just always good. 3 Ties of the Brethren. This card is amazing. I think every game that I opened with this, I won the game. If you don't know what this does, you target a level 4 lower monster you control, and you special summon 2 monsters in your deck with the same type and attribute as that monster, but with different names. So you can target Toad, the Yada, what are they called? Or Kiwi. Yeah, these ones. And so you activate the card, you special the other 2, and you go +4. So you have 3 back row, you have 3 monsters. It's just insane. Like, it's just ridiculous 1 card play. And if you have Village too, it's like almost an auto win against every deck, except for this deck, because you can't target the spellcasters. But yeah, it's amazing. The other thing about this, you have to pay 2,000. You can't do your battle phase or special summon after you use it, but you can still pendulum summon beforehand. Upstart, I firmly believe in playing 40 cards, or 39 cards, I guess. And then it also synergizes with Abductor. 1 spell. This is kind of a hard decision. I ended up playing Sonics because you don't have to tribute a Majespecter for this, so it's less bad to draw, and it prevents people from just like normal summoning a monster and attacking over Majespecter. I could see playing Storm instead. This is also an out to some things that are hard to out, like Ultimate Falcon or like the Blue Eyes card, but that didn't matter, the Ritual. And then 3 Desires. This, like, it's just a free +1. Like, you banish some stuff in your deck that's important, but you just have to play this card. And you don't play 3 to play all 3 copies, you play 3 to see it. Because you want to see one of this card in every single one of your opening hands. It's, yeah, free +1. And then for the traps, I played 3 Tornado and 2 Tempest. I think in the future I'd probably want to cut one of the Tornadoes and maybe put back in the other Toad, because opening these cards is just bad. But I chose Tornado over Tempest because I expected to see more Blue Eyes today than Pendulum decks, and that was true, so it was a good thing I did. But I did side the 3rd one of these in case I'm playing against a deck where it's better. Actually, it might have been better to play this because I played a bunch of metal foes, but I didn't expect that at all. Extra deck is mostly irrelevant, so I'm gonna go through it really fast. The ones that I made: Chidori, Breaksword, Trapeze. I made this package, and then I used these guys because I played Skyris once the entire day, and it was, or I mean not Skyris, not Ice Fusion once the entire day, and it was okay, but didn't really need it. This is just because I needed a beater. It didn't actually have to out something. And then this was the best deck card in the extra deck. I might even want to play 2 of these over something else. And this opened up an OTK in games that I was going to win anyway, but it's there. Ignister and Dynaster, you can make these with Luster because the extra deck's not that important. You can fit these in, and this is an out to some things that are hard to out. When you can make a really good board, you can do Dynaster sometimes because it protects your scales and they can't attack over stuff, and that's really good. And then I didn't make any of these, but they're good cards and might come up. This almost came up, but decided against it. And then side deck. Like I said, I played the Tornado, or the other Tempest, to side in over the Tornado. I never had all 6 traps in. I feel like that's too many, but 4 might be the sweet spot, really. And then 2 Typhoons. This is good for pendulum matchups. You know, obviously it's pretty self-explanatory in that regard. It hits Abductor after they're about to use it, or you hit the scale after you think they're out of scales in their hand. That's sort of risky. I'm not a huge fan. It's also not the Secret Village, but you got your Majespecter monsters for that too. Odd Eyes Fusion for going second. I didn't want to main this because the Brick going first, and this deck always picks first. 3 MST, and then also 2 Causing Cyclone. This was very overkill. I never sided in anywhere close to all of those for back row removal, but I also didn't play any like Demise stun decks, so I probably would have if I had played those. 3 Lullaby of Obedience. So this card, it's intended for the mirror match, and I also sided in for Metal Foes because they play Bunbuku and Kirin. So it's essentially another copy of Bunbuku in your deck, and that's really good. You want to see Bunbuku in every single one of your hands. So I never actually drew it, so I didn't use it today, but in theory it should be good, especially if I expect more Majespecters. And I didn't play any Majespecters, but like I said, Metal Foe, so it was good for that. Then I'm playing each of the other 2 spells in Majespecter. I would trade it out for one of the other ones when I thought it was better. The Sonics is definitely horrible against Blue Eyes because you usually can't get over their stuff even with Sonics. So I put in Cyclone instead because destroying their monsters is usually as good as banishing, so it's like almost like another Tornado, with exceptions, certainly. And then this was if I was going against some kind of Floodgate deck going second, because you can also activate this off of Toad. You can't activate this off of Toad. So then I have 5 monsters I can draw to out Floodgates, like and then another Eccentric for basically the same idea against Floodgate stuff. And that's the whole deck. So there's a lot I would change on the side. I'm not going to go through all of that, but I didn't use a lot of the cards in it. I wouldn't play 3 Lullaby. I think that's just too many. And then I'd probably cut one of the traps because I kept breaking a lot of those. But yeah, I think this is it's a really good deck. You can open a lot of busted fields. So
weird. Congrats.
Thanks. Congrats.